Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's important video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic and your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. Today I want to take the time to answer a question that was asked by a subscriber. And the question is, how did narcissism go mainstream? As I mentioned this in my last video, and have mentioned this dynamic in many other videos as well, that narcissism has sadly gone mainstream. But the question is how? You see, to know the how, we must look at the run-of-the-mill average narcissist, or average covered narcissist, or at least a narcissist that is able to be covered at times. I say that because my mother was a strong mix of overt and covered. My mother was an over-the-top narcissist, that you knew she was in the room. But she was extremely cunning and covered and could manipulate the socks off of nearly anyone. But with that said, I think it's important to look at this average narcissist. For the simple fact that people tend to see those on television or our leaders, or those in the movies and other entertainers in a different light. Meaning they are larger than life. So it's a lot more difficult to see them doing the same things as an average person might. Well, I have news for you. Money and power doesn't make narcissism go away. It will in most cases make narcissism worse. Here's the thing. The average narcissist loves to turn others into what they are. You see, narcissists can't stand the fact they are what they are. They know they can't feel like you and I. And they will never be able to feel like you and I. And it's this feeling that drives them to self-destruct. Or to want to manipulate, lie and damage others' lives until their last moment on this earth. Much like demons knowing they are doomed. That instead of dwelling in their doomed state, they spend every waking moment trying to bring as many people down to their doomed state as they can. Well, people that are narcissists are much the same way. There's an example I've given before. And this is just one example of many you can probably come up with. A nice married woman starts a brand new job at such and such firm or company. She makes friends. Or what she might think are friends at her new job. They bond really fast. These new girlfriends or friend go out of their way to show their friendship. They might show up to her house to help her and her husband paint their home. They help out with work projects and they seem to really be on her side. But in this instance something is happening under all of that. They slowly start working on their new friend. Taking her to places where she can be tempted with the idea of being with another man even though they are married. They might pump up her ego and make her think she can do better than the husband she has. And all of this is done over a long period of time to not draw suspicion. But instead what it does is it plants a seed that grows and grows and grows. And before you know it, this once faithful woman that was in love with her husband is now picking fights with him when she returns home from work. She's now dressing different and staying out late after work, especially on Friday night. And yes, she starts cheating on her once beloved husband with a man in the office that cares nothing about her. Now how did this all happen? The narcissists in her life came to her as a friend, as someone that cares. And after they gained her trust, they started to show her little things here and there that might be tempting. To trigger feelings in her she can't get out of her head. Feelings that start to alter her normal thought process. To get her to second guess many things in her life. And then they start to pump up her ego. Getting her to think her money and position makes her above the man she pledged to love for life. And once the ego gets pumped up, All that is needed is a little nudge and they will do the rest. You see. It's likely the same thing was done to this woman that is now tricking and manipulating this once decent woman in this scenario. Much like vampires. Once bitten and turned. They are now on a mission to not only feed, but to go through the process of turning others into what they were turned into. Why? Because they love the process. They enjoy seeing the innocence die away. And to watch and hear about the pain it causes. Oh, your husband cried and got so sick they ended up in the hospital. Oh, you were so messed up emotionally by your bad choices. You need to be put on medication. And this so-called friend eats it up. Now, before they met this person, they were doing just fine. Now their life has been completely turned upside down. Now with this example in mind, take a look at the narcissists that run the show. Those that produce movies and television shows. Those that are narcissists or worse that end up in such professions will likely use such positions to poison the minds and lives of as many people as they can through their work. There was a Satanist named Anton Lavey that once said in an interview that because of the hold that Satanists have on the entertainment system, that most people will have some sort of perversion or a similar type of problem as a result. Simply put, their goal was to use entertainment to sicken the minds of as many people as they can, making it seem fun, cool and awesome. So much so, once it finally goes full tilt evil, hardly anyone notices and hardly anyone cares. They are now going with the flow because it's normal. Think about dating. You are told the person that cares the least wins. Most of the principles of dating and finding so-called love have nothing to do with love at all. But when you break down such principles, they sound a lot like narcissism. But 50, 60 or 70 years ago, though people weren't perfect, a message of care and love was pushed. And it was up to you to choose. This is why the best love songs came from such times. But now, where are the love songs? Where? Men that were strong, hard-working men were still writing love letters to their girlfriends or wives. And they weren't seen as corny or dumb for doing it. But over time, people have been slowly brainwashed out of what has worked to keep society together. Now, families are broken up more than ever. Most people are alone. Many have no hope and don't care about working hard. And just like dealing with the narcissism, it's easy to look around and be confused how one got to such a place. So much so, no one points the finger at the narcissist or narcissists. Like in my first example with the woman at work that has narcissists' friends turning her life around. These narcissist friends oftentimes will come out to be seen as the hero or the caring friend. Much like those that run the show in society. They create the problem. Slowly get you to go along with it as normal. Then show up with the fake care and solutions. And if this process is repeated enough, over and over again, it becomes all the average person knows. And thus it has become mainstream. Look at the news. People doing horrible things to one another with no care of what will happen not only to the person they are doing such evil to, but no care of what will happen to them in the end. People are more lonely than ever. And people are picking a relationship partner on superficial reasons. Nowhere do you hear. Are they a decent person with morals and values? Do they believe in the Heavenly Father? It's all based on what society pumps out to be popular. You see, there have been tests done where someone goes into a room with some people in it and letting them know there is an emergency and for them to follow them out of the room and building. And what they do is they purposely go for a door that leads to a dead end, with another door clearly marked emergency exit that is ignored. Why was it ignored? Because someone that appeared to have some sort of authority was leading the way. And people are often inclined to go with such a figure, even when it appears they are wrong. And they will even more so go with such a person and in such a direction if others are following them. Why? Because they don't want to be left out and not part of the group. Much like how people will choose their options and answers to things when they hear other people state their opinion first. So you can take that same take or thought process and put it into brainwashing very easily. And narcissists do it all the time. All the time. Even the narcissists that greatly influence our society. I hope this answers your question. Please keep the great questions coming. I appreciate your interaction. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.